Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shuba, for that really warm introduction. Hi, everyone. Can everybody hear me? And can everybody see the screen? Awesome. So as you can see, my name is Jin Odiger. I will be your conductor today. We are going to talk about how to conduct a club contest. First of all, before we start, I just wanted to ask who here among you has been to club contest or any type of contest here at Toastmasters? All right. I think some of you have been and some of you have not. So, for those of you who haven't been to a contest, every year we conduct three types of contest for Toastmasters. We do have the evaluation contest, we do have the table topics contest, and as well as the international speech contest. And it is separated into certain levels. So, we conduct those two evaluation table topics. We do this in the fall, and then in the speech contest we do it on the winter. And then whoever wins, there will be certain level. We do it on the club levels. Who wins will go proceed to the area levels, to the division, as well as the district. For the international, there is another one, but that's another topic for another time. But for now, we are focusing on the club contest on and how to run it. Everybody understood? Wonderful. So we shall start. But before we do that, I just want to give you a quick overview of what we're going to have talk about today. First of all, we are going to have an overview of the two contests. For the we're going to focus today on evaluation and table topics. We're going to have a little bit of different a different set of contests for a workshop for international speech contest soon, but we are going to focus on those two for today. And also, we are going to talk about the roles and responsibilities of certain participants, such as the chief judge, the contest chair, and such. Also, we are going to talk about the documentation, what needs to be how to document, what needs to be documented, all the things that you need to prepare before, after, and during the contest. And lastly, we are going to talk about the rules. We are going to only touch the rules for now because I believe there is a separate uh, workshop for that one. So now we are going to talk about the table topics contest first. First and foremost, what you really need to come up with in order for you to organize a contest such as this are the contestants. Obviously, it would not happen, the contest would not have happened if there will be no contestants. It could be multiple, it could be has how much as you want. It depends on your meeting, but usually it would be great if it's three or more because you will give out you will give out the third place, the second place, and the first place in that order. So the more the better, but it depends on any clubs as well. But first and foremost, you need to figure out your contestants. As a contest chair of a table topics contest, you're the one who's responsible to come up with the table topic question. You will be the only one who gets to know about it. I will go over that in a bit, but you need to know what topic you're going to decide or what you're going to ask on the certain contest. The speech length for the contestants needs to be done in 1 to 2 minutes. That is very important. We do that in our club meetings, and that's why we do that on the contest as well. Speeches under 1 minute will be disqualified, and speeches after 2 minutes and 30 seconds will be disqualified as well. So that means we have to take note that all the speeches of the table topics contestants needs to be done for 1 to 2 minutes. The proceedings, the speaking order. So this is done when you the speaking order. I will go over that in a bit as well. As the contest chair, you're responsible for the speaking order. You need to do a contest briefing before the contest, but with this one, you need to do the speaking order. You introduce the contest. You already did what you need to do. You already asked the chief judge, and with this, you can go on with the contest. And the speaker number one will speak, and then some of the other contestants will be ushered out by the sergeant at arms, and then they will speak one by one according to the question that you prepared, the topic that you prepared for that one. Next, with that, before the speaker goes on, there will be a minute of silence that will be observed in between the speakers for the judges to mark their ballots. When all contestants have spoken, judges are given the time they need to mark their ballot. So basically, what will happen is that someone will the contestant number one will speak with the question that with the topic that is asked, and then 1 minute of silence, and this goes on to how many contestants you have, and then there will be a time allotted for the ballot counters to collect the ballots so that before the contestant interview begins. And then and then after that, when all the ballots have collected, the the chief judge and the ballot counters will go to another breakout room, and then the contest chair will interview the contestants while the ballot the counting is being done. With this, before the contest, there's another slide for this one later on, but there will be a separate slide. The contest chair is the one who's responsible for coming up with the questions that needs to be asked to the contestants as well, and that is the reason why we have the forms that will be given in a bit. And lastly, if the ballot has been voted, the chief judge communicates the result as the contest chair and announces the winners. With that, you have done your table topics contest. Before I go on with the evaluation contest, are there any questions? Shuba, do we have any? I might not be able to see some questions.
So I see that there may be now. There's Janet Kim has raised her virtual hand. If you want to ask her, Janet, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Thank you, Jin and Shuba. Will you be going over how the ballot counting takes place in a hybrid meeting situation?
Not for now, but I can go over that for you
Okay.
on the for the Q&A session.
Okay.
But I because there's a yeah I know there's a different situation for the hybrid online and as well as in person. But thank you for the question. That is a very intricate process for that. Are there any more questions before I proceed with the evaluation?
Just a quick question. Are certificates of participation given to everybody regardless of where they place?
Sorry, can you please repeat the question?
Are the certificates of participation given to every contestant regardless of who places where?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
it is all given during the contest interviews.
Okay.
All right,
Hi,
so
hi,
it
good
sounds like
evening. I'm sorry, I've got a quick question.
yeah.
This spans to all of the contests, but just to be clear, at the club level, at the very least, the VP of Ed is the de facto chair for club contests, so that means they can't compete, and if they do for whatever reason want to compete, that means they have to find a different chair.
VP Ed can compete. Anybody can be a chair. Somebody
Okay,
experienced, but anybody can compete. But if the chair per se can't compete. If they have agreed to be the chair, they cannot compete. But
gotcha.
at the club. But the VP Ed is not a de facto chair, contest chair.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And yes, we will share the slides, right, Jen?
Yes, we will indeed. Thank
That
you.
was the other question.
There
Thank
are
you.
no more questions. We shall proceed and we can go on. Next on the agenda are the evaluation contest. So first, again, there would be no evaluation contest if there are no contestants. You need to figure out the contestants who will evaluate the speaker. And with that, speaking of a speaker, instead of a contest chair in the table topics, you're the one who is responsible for creating the question. For this one, the contest chair is the one responsible to to hire a test speaker, and that test speaker must come up with a 5 to 7 minute speech. And the evaluation of the contestants needs to be done in 2 to 3 minutes. If it is below 1 minute and 30 seconds, they will be disqualified. And if it is after 3 minutes and 30 seconds, they will be disqualified as well. The proceedings for the evaluation contest. The contest chair welcomes everybody, the contest, and then we introduce the contest, and then we have the test speaker going on for 5 to 7 minutes. And when the test speech is over, the contestants are ushered out of the room and are sent out to the breakout rooms and given 5 minutes to prepare their evaluations on a form, which are then taken away. All non-contestants are asked to put their pens down and look straight up. So what it means is basically there is going while the so the reason why we interview the test speaker is because the contestants need time to evaluate and formulate their speeches. They have 5 minutes to do that, and they will be sent to the breakout room. So as a contest chair, you also need to come up with the questions that you need to ask for the test speaker. And the test speaker, or it's up to you, the contest chair can also have an impromptu questions regarding on the speech that they have said. So that is the reason why we do have allotted 5 minutes to do, and we interview the test speaker instead. When the 5 minutes is done, the contestants are going to be, when the contestants are out of the room, the test speaker is interviewed, as I said, and the token gift of appreciation is presented if it is in person. You can do so some other things if you want, if you have an online on the club, but that is for the in-person. And as it says here, after the 5 minutes is over, the SAA collects the contestants' notes, and the speaker one is to let the contest room while the rest remain outside, and the notes are returned back to the contestant upon returning to the main room. And the speakers are let in one by one. It's basically the same as the table topics process, but this time it's an evaluation, so it's 2 to 3 minutes. There will be a minute of silence after that, and then so on. It goes in order, in the speaking order that you have created and before the contest starts, and then the ballot counters will collect all the ballots through the judges, and then after that, while the votes are tallied, contestants are interviewed by the contest chair, given the certificate of the participation as asked by one of the for the participants here. And that is the evaluation. The chief judge the chief judge and the ballot counters will tally their votes, and then they will declare the winner, and that is the evaluation contest. Right. Are there questions for evaluation contest? Nicola?
Yeah, hi Jen. My question is that for the test speech, does it have to be a new speech that none of the contestants have heard before?
Johan is saying is shaking her head. Do you want to say something, Johan, about it?
Yeah, there's no requirement on the part of the test speaker. And if a contestant happens to have heard the test speaker or even that particular speech previously, they're evaluating based on the performance of the speech at that time.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Joanne.
Thank you, Johan. Janet, you raised your hand.
Yeah, excuse me. Can you could you just explain why so the contestants have 5 minutes to write down their notes or complete the evaluation form, and then the forms are taken away and then returned to each speaker, each contestant when they come in. Do you know what the reason for taking the forms away is?
I think Joanne is also nodding her head. I think she has an answer. I think I do have an answer, but I think Johanna will have.
No, go ahead, Jen.
No, go ahead, Joanne, first.
Is to keep it fair. So if a contestant were to keep their notes, the first contestant has to be taken into the room, and they have 2 to 3 minutes to present their evaluation, and then the minute. So there's 4 minutes that the next contestant would have to make more notes. So it's a fairness factor to try and keep the contestants with the same amount of time to write down their notes. Now, it obviously doesn't stop the contestant from continuing to think about what they're going to say. But as far as being able to make notes, that is controlled by taking the note paper away from the contestants. And that's what it's about, trying to keep it a fair contest.
Okay, thank you. And again, I guess during the Q&A, we could address how to manage this in a hybrid environment.
Yeah. There's another question in the chat. How do club members sign up to present test speeches throughout the district? Now, the process is essentially the contest chair is the one who seeks out a speaker, and they're the only ones who know the speaker is going to be. So each contest chair for every club that's conducting the contest, only the contest chair knows. And as far as the area contests and the district division and the district contests are concerned, again, it is up to the contest chair at every different levels. How you can actively sign up, I am not aware of a process. If Joanne can enlighten us, I would really appreciate it.
I'm sorry, what was that? What's the question there,
The
Shuba?
question is, how can one sign up to be a test speaker at a
Well, you're
at a
right.
contest?
Usually it's the contest chair that just seeks out someone from a sister club or someone else that they know in Toastmasters. But there is also I guess, the ability to go to I think it's called Stage Time on the district website and ask a speaker to come and present the test speech. I would also suggest that District 60 has a FaceTime page, and maybe if you wanted to be a test speaker, you could put your name up on there and say you were available and make your contact information available. But as far as the contest chair goes, use your availabilities of your area director, division director to connect you with other clubs so you can get a test speaker from another club in your area and maybe exchange speakers or exchange judges, just anything to make it give the opportunity to the members to be contestants as well as to make it a fair contest. Does that help?
Thank you, Joanne. Lucille, you have your hand up.
I do have my hand up, and it was to address.
Lucille.
Oh, sorry.
Lucille has a hand up. Unmute yourself, please. Thank you.
Yeah, sorry. Why do you call it a test speaker? Is that the one being evaluated by the evaluator contestants?
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct.
Okay.
Joanne, did you want to clear something up, or did you want to ask something?
Yeah, I wanted to just address a point that you've got in your slide where you've got the test speakers interviewed by the contest chair, and then a token gift is presented.
Yep.
The token gift is not in the rule book. It's a nice to do, but if the club has money issues, or if there's no money, or if there is an issue, that is not a requirement. It is a nice to do on the part of the club for the test speaker, but it is not in the rule book that a gift has to be given to the test speaker.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Joanne, for that clarification. All right. Are there any more questions? If none, we shall proceed to the next one. Participants. So now we are going to talk about the roles and responsibilities of each of the members of the contest. First, obviously, you will have your contestants, then the contest chair and team. I will go over this in a slide in a bit, and then the chief judge and the team. First, the contestants and the contestant officials. The eligibility for the contest chair. This is for the contest chair. The eligibility for the contestants are the following. If this is table topics and evaluation, a member must be in good standing, and in order for you to be in good standing, the member has paid their membership dues to their club. Second, a member of a club, the club has to be in good standing. In order for a club to be in good standing, it has to have a minimum of 8 active members, with at least 3 of those members have paid their membership dues to TI. So that's for the evaluation table topics. It's another topic for international speech contest, but we are not going to tackle that for now. And the club must have submitted its semi-annual dues payments to Toastmasters International. For the contest chair, in order for you to recruit you need to recruit your contestants, obviously, and then next you go with a sergeant at arms. You look for a sergeant at arms. If this is online, you also need to look for a Zoom master or a Teams master if you're using Teams, and it could be combined. It's totally up to you, but a sergeant at arms is needed during the contest so that there will be an usher for the contestants to have a clear of who's going in and out of the room, so that, and also there will be no disruptions in the contest. Next is a ballot counter. You need the contest chair will be, it needs to be the one to look for the ballot counters. It is the one who tallies the judges' votes with the chief judge. Next, you are also responsible to prepare for the contest agenda. This is being done mostly days before the contest. You need to come up. There is actually a template for this one. If you want to, just let me know. But the contest chair needs to come up with the agenda for the contest. The contest chair also is the one who prepares all the documents that is used by the contest and the ballot counters ahead of the contest. So you are the one who is responsible to print all of those. And also you are also responsible to brief the contestants and team members before the contest. So if I'm the contest chair, for example, in just my experience, I do this a week before. The reason for that is I would wait for someone to wait for their eligibility forms. I think it's enough time for you to email them and ask for their eligibility forms and speaker's profile. There is another slide for that one, but there's a week. I would wait a week for that one so that they would have time to fill out their forms for that one. And you would also be responsible to do the contest briefing live if you are the contest chair for the contestants. And with that, you would have an ample time to collect all their eligibility forms, because they cannot participate in the contest if they did not give you an eligibility form. And lastly, also on the contest briefing, you are also responsible to do the speaking order before the contest begins. Sometimes if it's online, you do the wheel, or sometimes it is being done by a draw lot, but there are other ways. I think Joanne will. I only remember two, but that's what in my experience as a contest chair, there is a draw lot and there is a spin the wheel in the application, but there might be some other ways. Yeah. Joanne, would you be able to suggest any type of ways, or those are the only two?
The key element is that it has to be a random selection, so it can't be assigned. And again, you're looking at fairness, so you want all the contestants as much as possible in attendance so that you can do a draw. And it can be a draw of numbers, it can be a draw of playing cards, it can be a draw of, ABC, however it is that you're going to randomize and make it fair for all the contestants.
Yes. Thank you, Joanne. And lastly, for the table topic contestants, you, as said earlier, you would be the one to prepare for the topic. You are the only one who knows the question. You do not need to share this to anybody so that the contestants would not know the question unless it is the contest itself. And for the evaluation contest, you will find a test speaker only known to the contest chair as well.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yes.
So previously on the previous slide, you had mentioned you had mentioned the contestant had to pay their dues, but you specified to the club, and in fact, the dues have to be paid to Toastmasters International. So you've got there specifically the members paid their membership dues to their club, but that's not sufficient. The club has to have also paid the dues to Toastmasters International for the contestant to be eligible. So a member who pays the club and the club doesn't pay Toastmasters International is still not eligible until those dues are paid and paid on time as well prior to the contest.
Thank you, Joanne.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but I didn't want to get too far ahead before.
Exactly.
Can I ask as well, sorry, back one slide. You're
Back one
talking,
slide.
yeah, you're talking about the topic for the table topics contest.
Yeah.
And are you planning to talk a little bit about the complexity of the topic, or how, like, what the topic is supposed to be?
Yeah, so Joanne, just to go off this, there are a lot of minutiae as far as the rules and regulations go. So there will be finer points to cover in the next workshop. Jen is not going to be able to cover those finer details. So we were leaving that for you to do that next week.
All right.
Thank you.
Awesome. Wonderful. Thank you, Shubha.
Yeah,
All
and
right.
while you're at it, I might as well address a couple of comments in the chat.
Yeah.
I think people are keen to have a sample agenda. So if we don't have it on the slides, that's fine. When we send out the recording and the deck, the presentation deck, we will make sure that we attach a template for the agenda as well. Okay, thank you.
Sure.
I made a note of it.
Thank you, Shubha. So with that, we shall proceed. There is another one that needs to be covered for this segment is the chief judge. For the chief judge, you would need to recruit 5 judges for the club level so that they would be the one who would vote on the ballots. And then you also need to look for a one tiebreaker judge. For the tiebreaker judge, just want to iterate that you're the only one who should know who the tiebreaker is. The contest chair doesn't need to know, and you're the only one who. This happens when you do the tallying of the ballots, and there is a moment that there is a tie. You're going to rely on the ballot of the tiebreaker. Next, you would recruit 2 timers. They are the one who is responsible to record the time taken for each speech and note it on the timer sheet. It needs 2 timers so that there will be a cohesive reports, and we would be able to compare it for fairness. Also, you would be responsible for preparation of the documents to be used by the judges, timers, and the tiebreaker judge. I will go over that in a bit. There's a slide after that. And then there is a briefing that the team members to be done before the contest about their roles. You can do it via email, you can do it via live. As a chief judge, you are responsible to brief all the roles of the judges, the timers, and the ballot counters. Collects the judges' ballots and oversees the vote tallying process with the ballot counters, and communicates the results to the contest chair after the voting has done. These are the examples of the timer sheet and the counter tally sheet. For the timers, you are responsible to fill the left side of the screen. You put the name of the contestants as well as the minutes and the seconds, so that the chief judge and the chief judge would be able to see who are disqualified or not. As I said, the timings earlier. Also, for the counter, you are responsible to fill this out on the right side of the screen. You will put the name of the judges on the left side and then the contestants on top, and then you tally your votes on the remaining rows and columns. Next, this is the sample of the judges' ballots for table topics and evaluation. As you can see, there are different criteria on how to vote for them. Johan is the one who's going to do a workshop regarding how to judge the contest. And this is just a sample, just a passing by of International Speech Contest ballot. As you can see, it is different as well. Next, contest format. I just want to go over this because there will be different. As you may have noticed, for starting area levels, we will do it in person. But for the club levels, it is up to you if you want to do it in person, online, or hybrid. And there are different scenarios for that because there is much to do if it's online, if it's hybrid and in person. There are pros and cons for that, but you need to figure out if it's online, because you also need to figure out the framing of the contestants. There are voting contingencies for that. They will, for example, they will be disqualified if they're out of the frame and such. So there will be rules for that. And would we be able to share the voting contingency, Shuba, after if they want to do the online contest?
Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. Can you reframe that question, please?
Meaning the framing of the contestants, if they're doing it online, so we can also include the rules and regulations for the online format.
So, okay, if I understand you correctly, you're asking about rules and regulations in the online
Yes.
format. Would that be
Yes.
covered in the next workshop? Is that what you mean, or something else?
Something else.
Okay,
I was hoping that we could also include the voting contingencies together with the agenda template for if they're ever going to do an online contest, because I think that was Janet's question earlier for the
okay, I'm sorry if I'm ignorant here, but what does voting contingency mean?
voting contingencies is the rules for how to vote for the
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm hearing is some concern about how are things done in an online environment. So as I was listening, I had a feeling that perhaps we need to do a short session on that, because
Okay.
there are details one has to be careful about.
Sure.
And
sure.
perhaps we can reach out and ask which clubs would be interested and invite them on a session
sure.
like this and explain all of that. I think that would
I
that
think
merits some
that
attention.
would, yeah. Thank you,
Is
Shubha.
that just a question? Is the hybrid or remote requirements or things we need to consider? Is that in the contest handbook as well?
There is a separate for the handbook for the hybrid and the online.
Oh, it's a separate
And
document.
but there's
Okay.
you can download it in the District 60 website, on the District 60 website.
Yeah.
Okay. And just a few slides back, you had mentioned there's 5 judges, 1 tiebreaker judge. Does that
Yeah.
mean we need to source 6 judges, or is one of the 5 judges a secret tiebreaker?
6 judges.
6
the
judges.
sixth
Okay,
one
perfect.
meaning the tiebreaker.
Perfect. Thank you.
Having said that, that is the ideal situation. At the club level, sometimes you may not be able to get 5 judges, then get a minimum of 3 judges plus 1. Ideally, you want more, not less.
Lucille, did you have a question?
Yeah, for the judges, do they have to be members of the club or do they have to be not members of the club?
For the club level, it's okay if it's a member of a club. It doesn't matter if it's a club level, but as this certain area level goes up, there's a rule. There's a certain rule for that. But if you're asking for the club, it doesn't matter.
Any Toastmaster of any club can be if you invite them. You try and use your own as much as possible. You want your own club members to have the experience of being part of a contest, but sometimes if you're not able to and you do want 5 judges, you can go to other clubs and recruit some.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you, Lucille. Are there any more questions? If there's none,
Jen,
yeah. Hi, Ray.
I didn't think I'd have a question. The tiebreaker judge, do they complete a ballot, or do they only determine who they would vote for the 2 tied speakers?
In my experience, Ray, I think they need to fill out everything so that when it is being done, when the tally, because there's a time constraint, we need to figure out who is the top for the tiebreaker judge, so that we know right away who gets to break the tie. Did that answer your question?
Can I help out here, Jin?
Yeah.
So, Ray, there is a separate tiebreaker form, And the difference between the tiebreaker judges form and a voting judges form is at the bottom where the judges fill in their information or their selection of first, second, third. On a tie-breaking judges form, it has 10 spaces. So a tiebreaker judge must rank all speakers. So if there's 10 contestants, the tiebreaker judge has to put all 10 names based on how they rated all 10 speakers, whereas a voting judge only puts first, second, and third. So if the chief judge ends up, if the ballot counters and chief judge confirm that they have a tie, they open up the tiebreaker ballot and determine based on what the tiebreaker judge has said is first or second, or who came ahead of each other. And it could be that maybe the tiebreaker judge made one contestant number 2 and the other contestant number 7. That doesn't have any relationship as long as if the ballot counters have determined that contestant A is number 2 and contestant B is number 7, that's where they rank.
Got it. Thanks, Joanne.
You bet.
Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Ray. Next on my agenda is the documentation. So for the contest chair and the chief judge, they would have different roles and they would have to document some other things and responsible for. So the contestant, the contest chair, and the chief judge. So for the contestants, you are responsible to fill out this is for the table topics contest. You are responsible to fill out the speech contestant profile and the speaker certification of eligibility and originality. As I iterated earlier on this session, you need to fill out the eligibility and originality because the contestants cannot join the contest if they have not signed the forms. For the speech contestant profile, the reason for that is so that the contest chair can come up with questions according to what they filled out on the speech contestant profile. Now, as the contest chair,
just a quick clarification that it is the contestants who will fill out these forms. These forms will be sent to them by the contest chair to fill out and return. So it's not the contest chair who's going to fill out, it's the contestants themselves. But the forms will be provided by the contest chair. Thank you.
yes. Thank you, Shubha. For the contest chair, you are, as discussed earlier, you are responsible to fill out the agenda, as well as the first place, the second place, and the third place certificate, the participant speech certificate, the results form to be given to the area director, the counters tally to be given to the chief judge, notification contest winner, and for the first place, second place, and third place before the contest, you can give this to the chief judge so that when the tally is being done by the chief judge, they can already fill out the first place, the second place, and third place certificate. For the chief judge, you are responsible for providing the eligibility ethics, judge's certificate of eligibility ethics to the judges, the voting judges, the timer's record sheet, and for the instructions for the timers, the table topics contest ballot, the tiebreaker table topics contest ballot, and those are the things that you need to come up with and to print out and to provide during the table topics contest. Indeed.
Sorry,
yeah.
just a quick question. What is the notification contest winner? What is that exactly?
So it's a fill out form where you fill out the name of the winners, the notification of winners. So first place, second place, third place, and so on.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So
and then this has to go to the next level. So it has
Yeah.
to be passed on to the area director.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Next, for the evaluation contest, it's mostly the same, but for this one, for the contest chair, you can provide papers, maybe 3 pages per contestant, so that they can come up with their speech for the evaluation contestants. There is also a separate sheet for that for the evaluation speech contest kit. For the chief judge, it's mostly the same as well. Yeah. And then lastly, just I'm just gonna go over with the rules a little bit, but this will be discussed by another facilitator. But just wanted to let you know that general procedures, if you go to the rule book, you can see this on page 10 to 17 and other highlighted areas. The contest level for this one will be from club to district. And I just want to iterate to everybody that no district officers can compete. If you know that it is, if they are appointed by the district, they cannot join. All contestants, contest officials, and test speaker for evaluation contests must meet eligibility rules. Example, they should be a paid member. A club may choose a speaker for the next level by a process of their choice. If no club contest, the club may appoint a member to compete at the area contest. Meaning, if it's okay, it is recommended for you to hold a club contest, but if the area director is holding an area level and you cannot, according to your schedule, we cannot have a club contest, a club can send a contestant instead to the area level. Occasionally, a contest must be held with only one contestant. In such cases, a contest must still be held, and the contestant must be disqualified if they do not meet the timing, originality, and eligibility requirements. So, meaning you can still go on and proceed if there is only one contestant. If the winner is unable to proceed to the next level, the next highest placed contestant will advance to the next level. First place, second place, third place, and so on. All contestants will speak from the platform or area designated by the contest chair. It's all being done by the contest chair. At club contest, a contest chair, chief judge, at least 5 voting judges, a tie-breaking judge, 2 counters, and 2 timers are appointed unless impractical. There are certain events that will happen, but these are the officials that you need to appoint. And I guess that's it for the rules. If the resources are there for you, there is a rule book, and also the website. You can download all the things that we have discussed on the speech contest page on the District 60 website, as seen on the screen here. Any questions?
At club level, minimum number of judges is 3, correct?
5.
No,
Minimum number.
minimum is 3.
3.
No. The rule book calls for 5 if practical.
If practical, yeah.
But what's the minimum if you can't get 5? 3?
Well,
3.
you want a
It says
fair
3.
contest, so
Yeah,
What?
it says
Say
3.
that again. I'm sorry. Say that again, Joanne.
you want it to be fair. So in order to have a fair judging, you should have at least 3 people. So, but the contest rule book calls for 5 with as long as it's practical.
Well, yeah, with all due respect, Joanne, if it isn't practical, what is the minimum for a valid club meeting?
We usually go with 3. Always know it to be 3. I think somewhere it says as well. I'm checking in the background and you can continue to ask your questions, Ray. I'm going to check in the
The rule
background.
book doesn't go into a minimum for the club contest. It is simply leaving the door open that if the club cannot put 5 judges in place, in all contests, you just want to make sure that it's a fair representation of the results. So you would want to have at least 3. But the rule book calls for 5 if you can. But the rule book's not specific on a minimum. I know it doesn't help.
I'm
Right?
just checking the background.
Ray, did that answer your question, or we can wait for Shuba to?
No, carry on. If I
Yeah.
find something, I'll let you know.
Sure. Toastmasters International have so many darn rules. I cannot imagine that
Exactly.
they do not have a regulation that asserts a minimum number of judges to have a valid contest. I recognize, Joanne, that in every effort to be fair, sure, I get it.
Yep.
But we have only 25 members. Regularly, 12 members turn up. If 6 of them are competing, judging, ballot counting, sergeant at arms-ing, and everything else-ing, having 5 judges out of 12 attendees, I mean, I got to tell you, that's impossible.
It's pretty hard, yeah. The availability of inviting judges from other clubs is also there. If you've got a sister club, or you can connect with your area director and ask for assistance in bringing judges in.
Okay, fair enough. So you're saying the minimum to be judging is 5? No, 6. 5
Well,
and a
tiebreaker
tiebreaker.
judge. The tiebreaker judge isn't a voting judge.
We may end up being a club that says the hell with the contest, we'll appoint somebody.
Well, and that's in the end, that is a valid result as long as the club is willing to go along with that. But it means that someone has to say, yes, I'll go, and no one else wants to compete. So I think if members want to compete and you can get, 3 judges in place, then you go ahead because it is as practical.
Anyway, I did try to go behind the scenes, but because this is being recorded, I did not have the ability to do that search. But what I've done is I have a copy of a rule book where I've highlighted in yellow all the portions that are relevant to the club contest. Okay, so when I send out the documents, I will also attach that particular one. And in that way, you will find that part where it speaks to the number of judges at the club level. As Joanne said, it does say if as far as practical or practicable, whatever that might be. I thought I'd seen 3, but maybe I was wrong. But I'll send a rule book that highlights all the sections that you need to focus on. In the meantime, we've had a couple of questions in the chat. Jane, if you could address, I will speak them out.
Sure, but actually, in the same vein of what you're talking about.
Sorry?
In the same vein of what you're talking about, because I know you're going to switch topics now.
Sure.
What if 2 clubs wanted to share their resources in terms of people fulfilling roles, and they combine their contestants, but of course there would be 2 contestants from each club that would proceed to the area contest? Would that be acceptable?
I think, no, each club needs to have its own contest, or if they wish to appoint, they will appoint their own contestant. That's per club. There are instances where area contests may be combined, but at the club level, I have never heard of such a thing. Joanne, if you can please confirm.
As long as each club is individually contested, so the members from one club would have to compete separately. But if you had 7 judges compiled from both clubs, then they could hold the contest at the same time, but the contestants have to compete separately. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Same at the area level. You're right. The 2 contests will be separate. The judges may be the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say a club can't do that as long as they don't have all the contestants rated by the same judges. They have to be very separate, that this is Club A and this is Club B.
Yeah. Thank you, Joanne. So here's a question. Somebody wanted to have the eligibility form shared. So I think it would be worth our while to actually do a visit visit the District 60 website and show you where the resources are. What Jen showed on the slide was where you might find them, but if we actually went live and showed you, you can download the packages right from there. So you have all the forms that are listed on the slide that Jen showed. They're all there. There are packages for the evaluation contest and the package for table topics contest. So all you have to do is just download from there, and you will find all of those forms that were listed. So Jen, would you like to share screen and go to the website, or would you like me to do that?
I can do that, Shubha. I have it open right now.
Thank you, Andrew.
So everybody that's on this call, I have put the link into the chat. So please open that up and you can follow along with me. But when you go to the D60 website, what Jen has as contest chair under resources, he has a web page called Speech Contests. And so you'll just go to the home page. You would go to the resources, click on Speech Contests. The link that I put into the chat takes you directly there. Here you have all the information you'll ever need to run a contest, and all the information that Jen has gone through in terms of the slides is here as well. So please peruse this, because we're always updating this, making sure that it does have the latest information. If you see anything that's out of date, do let us know and we will update it. So there's a little introduction there. We even have the dates by which the contests are meant to be run for the clubs. So clubs, 1st of September to the 15th of October, then you've got the area division. This is table topics evaluation. We've got the international speech there as well. Clubs can conduct any type of contest format as they see fit. This is what Jen was referring to: in-person, online, hybrid, or as Ray was saying, a club can also simply nominate a member or members to attend the area contest. So you have links here. This link here will take you to the speech contest rulebook. Always recommend that the chief judge, contest chair, go through that thoroughly, the speech contest rulebook. There's speech contest tutorials. They have videos. TI puts videos out there. You can watch those videos. But we also have contest chair scripts. So these have been updated for table topics and evaluation. So if you click on this, it brings up a Word document. It allows you to customize it for your contest, but it will take you, as a contest chair, just read it. If you simply read it, you've run the contest for table topics and for an evaluation. This is how we're trying to make it as easy as possible for you. The international speech one will be updated in time for the international speech contests. There's also a contest chair briefing script for contestants. So when you bring all the contestants together and you're running through the, choosing the order, etc. Again, you just have to read that contest chair script and it's done. There's a chief judge script. So when the chief judge brings together all the contest officials, now you never invite a tie-breaking judge, because the tie-breaking judge is only known to the chief judge. Nobody else will ever know. So please never announce who the tie-breaking judge is. That's a secret only for the chief judge to know. But when they have a contest official briefing, they'll bring the judges in, the ballot counters, the timers, and you'd go through that. But there's a script for that as well. Now, if your club is planning on holding an online or hybrid contest, then we do have links for some best practices. So there's best practices for online speech contests, how to prepare your best online, video recording guidelines if you want to record it. There's online contest roles and responsibilities, contingencies for virtual, Zoom for contests. So if you're running an online, we do have these links here for you. Now, you do have to make sure that speakers are eligible. Now, this is only going to be for the international speech contest. Well, eligible meaning that they're a paid member. And TI actually has a checker that you can put a membership number in, and it'll come up and say, yep, this person's eligible. Now, as Shubha was mentioning, we do have the international speech contest kits, the table topics and the evaluation contest kits fully here. You click on that, you can then download all the forms that you need. Now, having said that, if you go down a little bit further, I've actually put in links for every single judging form that you need. So you have to get all your judges to sign an eligibility and code of ethics. You have to get all the speakers to sign a certification of eligibility and originality. But I've put in the judges ballot for international speech, the judges ballot for table topics, as well as the tie breaking. So you can actually click on each of these and bring down those forms individually. Or as I was saying, you can go and get the entire kit from up here. Now, there is important information for the 2024-25 contest season. So the first one is, if you can't hold a contest or nobody's interested, or there's only one person, you can simply nominate. When you get into the area, you have to hold a contest, even if there's only one contestant. If a Toastmaster belongs to multiple clubs and competes and wins in every one, so for instance, you belong to 3 clubs and you win your club contest, you can only move forward in one area. So you would have to say to the other 2 clubs, hey, I'm sorry, I'm not going to compete. Whoever finished second can take my place and they can move forward. If your area only has 4 clubs, then each club can send 2 contestants to the area contest. So do have a look to say, hey, I'm in area 14. Oh, there's 5 clubs, I can only send 1 contestant. Oh, but there's only 4 clubs, I can send 2. So that's something to be aware of as well. Notification of winners form. I heard a question before. Just click on the link that brings up the notification of winners form. The contest chair then sends that to the area director so that they know who all the contestants are. And it's not just, as Shuba was saying, not just the top 3, it's everybody, because I've been in clubs where there's 6 contestants and the top 4 couldn't compete in the area. So they actually went to the 5th place winner and they went and competed in the area contest. Make sure you read the speech contest rule book, and of course, have fun, have fun. As I mentioned, there's the individual forms that you can click on. In green are all the speaker ones. You have to get a speaker contestant profile, a contest certificate set, because everybody gets a participation certificate. Here are the timers, record sheet and instructions, counters, tallies, etc. Now, we do have a video put on by Ross Mackay, how to be a great contest judge. And at the very bottom here, and this goes back to Ray, TI will say you need 5 voting judges. They're not going to say minimum of 3, minimum of 2, minimum of 4. They will say 5. But you'll see under club, there's a little star here, if practical. We all know that sometimes clubs can't get it, but TI will say you need 1 contest chair, 1 chief judge, 5 voting judges, 1 tie-breaking, 2 timers, 2 counters, and if it's online, 2 Zoom masters. But that's only if practical. So you have to decide yourself as to, well, what's fair. Now, when you get to area, division, and district, you have to have these. I mean, you have to have a minimum of 5. You have to have 7. You have to have 7. So I mean, there is no break for area, division, district. But when it comes to club, yes, if practical. I will be adding an agenda here. I will show you what that agenda looks like. Let me just bring it up very quickly so that you don't have to create it yourself. You can just simply download this. It is going to be a PowerPoint. I'm just going to do a new share here. So this is what the agenda looks like. So you'd say, and what the way this agenda works, and you can it'll be a PowerPoint so you can update it. It's just 1 sheet. It's double-sided, so you have to figure out how to print that. There'll be instructions, but it's 1 sheet of paper. You fold it, and then you've got, hey, welcome to Applewood Achievers, tabletop evaluation contest, District 60. You put the date in, so that's a Saturday. I just chose a date at random. You put the time in. If you're going to have it online, you put a Zoom link in. You've got the names of the contest officials, the chair, chief judge, timers, ballot counters, voting judges remain anonymous, never ever revealed voting judges. You got the contest purpose here. You've got the agenda that takes you through how to run 2 contests in 1 session, and then a thank you there. And then on this page is actually where you name all the contestants and you put the speaking order. And then this allows the people who are attending your contest to say, hey, well, this is my ranking. I'll be curious to see how they place, how the judges. So there's different columns here. And then you've got the evaluation, the table of topics here as well. So this will be added to this page. And that'll be done momentarily. I'll just go back to here, and you'll find it. I haven't decided where to put it yet, but we're trying to make things as easy as possible for you. So again, everything that Jen has talked about, it's all here on this page. Everything that you can possibly want, we hope, is here. And if you find anything that's missing, of any questions, there's an email here. Just click on that, email that person. That's Shuba, by the way, and she will make sure that the website gets updated appropriately. Voila.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Andrew. I have a couple of questions here. Janet has a question, and she has her hand raised. Janet, why don't you just go ahead anyway?
Okay, thank you, Shuba. Good point. Icebreaker is only 4 to 6 minutes. So we kind of got enthusiastic and maybe put the cart before the horse or something. We're holding an evaluation contest in 2 weeks. A member who is presenting her icebreaker agreed to be the test speaker, but I see now, because the icebreaker is only 4 to 6 minutes, that disqualifies it from being the test speech for an evaluation contest. Is that correct? Hello?
Interesting question. Let's see. I'm going to take a stab at this. 5 to 7 minutes is the requirement. If their icebreaker lasted between 5 and 6 minutes, because they allowed 4 to 6, I don't know if it seems like it should be okay, but can we guarantee them speak for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
So Janet, just very
Yes.
quickly, I've been to evaluation contests where the test speaker spoke for 10 minutes.
Yes.
So a test speaker can speak for as long as they want because nobody's going to stop them. But you hope they're going to speak from 5 to 7.
Okay.
And I've actually seen an icebreaker happen as a test speaker. I've actually been part of that.
Okay, but the issue is I thought I saw in Jin's presentation that the test speaker must not be known to the evaluators or something to that effect. Did I misunderstand that?
That is what Jean said.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is a club contest where everybody who's participating is a club member, including the test speaker. So is that not allowed?
Nope.
Okay.
The speaker has to be unknown. Now, you may know the person. I mean, you can't really stop people from knowing one another, but the
Yeah.
idea is has to be someone who's not known to the club.
Right. Okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Wait a minute. They have to be unknown before they become the test speaker. As long as you don't announce who the test speaker is ahead of the contest, would it matter that they are a member of the club giving an icebreaker? I can't imagine why it would. Now, that said, she would have to have a very high tolerance for receiving feedback. You may end up having a test speaker who quits the club after giving one speech. If she's going to get 6 evaluations, she could be devastated.
No, she's pretty keen about this.
Right? I
yeah.
can't imagine why she wouldn't be able to do it, but you can't announce that she will be the test speaker for the evaluation contest ahead of time, as I understand the process for being a test speaker.
All right. Well, the horse has already left the barn. We'll find a test speaker.
In the rule book says it's recommended that at all levels of the contest, the Toastmaster giving the test speech not be a member of the same club as any one of the contestants.
Okay.
Of course,
Thank
it's covering everything up to, district level.
Great, thank you. I sit corrected. Well done.
All right, it is 4 minutes past 8. Thank you so much for your interest and enthusiasm by asking your questions. We know that we have delivered on something that you were keen on knowing. Again, very quickly, do remember that it is only at the club level that you have a choice to have either an online, hybrid, or in person. Past the club level, all contests will be in person. So if your winner is online and they're unable to travel, then be prepared to have someone else go if they are not able to go.
Say
so
that
the next
again.
person.
Area,
If
area.
at the club level, you have a choice of having either online, hybrid, or in person. But past that level, at the area, division, and district, it has to be in person. So if you are a hybrid on an online club, and you have a winner that cannot travel to the area contest venue, then be prepared to have the next person in line to replace that person as a contestant at the area level.
Do we know where the venue is for the area level?
Quick question, Shiva, sorry about that. So have they changed it? Because I know last year the area contest was online.
Yes.
So this year they're saying that it's in person?
Yes. And this email was sent out to all clubs in writing by the district director. This has also been communicated to the clubs directly from Toastmasters International, that all contests at the area, division, and district levels will be in person. Clubs have the option of taking any format they wish.
Okay, and will they be in Toronto then for the in-person contest? It's going to be
It will
Toronto
be
area?
within District 60. It has to be
Okay.
within the premises of District 60.
Okay. Is there a deadline? Because my president said that our club needs to respond by September 7th to give the dates of our club contest. Is that correct? Like, I don't know where he was getting that information from.
Yeah, you may want to ask him because we never put out anything like this.
And we don't need to submit anywhere to the area or district level. Our clubs are holding our contests on these dates.
No.
Okay.
All you have to do is
Thank you.
notify the winner, and you have a time bracket within which to complete the club contest, which is starting the 1st of September, already in
October
session,
15th.
all the way to the 15th of
Okay,
October.
perfect. Thank
Your
you.
area director might be an eager beaver and wanting to make sure that the clubs are holding contests. So the area director might have asked for that information, but
Yeah, and then you do want to share it for sure. Take a
And just
quick
say
look.
quickly, Shubha, I put another link into the chat. It's have some fun with this. It's an area division directed training guide to how to conduct a great contest. No secrets, of course. So feel free to, for those who are not area directors, division directors, to have a look at that. There's some interesting information in there, but it's primarily for area directors, division directors in terms of how to conduct a contest. But I thought it'd be helpful, useful information.
All right, if there are no more questions, we will send a follow-up email with the recording, and we will provide the link that Andrew shared today one more time so that you have the agenda and all the forms that you require. And perhaps in that link, you will also find all that you need to know about anything that relates to online or hybrid contests. Now, I did send out an email, and I will send out an email to the attendees here and to the clubs. With that, you will have my email address. So if you still have a follow-up question, feel free to send it to me, and we will make sure we will cover that directly through an email, or if it is something that will be covered under the rules and regulations presentation next week, then you're welcome to come back and be a part of that session. But that session will also be recorded and shared. And with that, thank you all. Have a very good night, and we'll see you soon, and all the best. Bye-bye.
thank you.